Though the people shown here are actors, this video clearly demonstrates what they, and many like them, go through every single day of their lives. Meet Duncan Ndegwa. He works for the Association for the Physically Disabled of Kenya, APDK, and is their Executive Officer, Nairobi branch. The simple task of getting ready for work in the morning, something which usually takes as little as half an hour for many of us, takes him a much longer time. Unfortunately, many of the architectural and design considerations do not include the needs of many like Duncan. As seen here, the effortless act of trying to enter a bathroom is one that clearly requires more effort on his part. The door widths and lack of adequate space in the compartments do not allow for easy maneuverability either with or without assistance. How about going to the kitchen for a cup of tea? Again, what would take most of us just a couple of steps? Well, for Duncan, how about several twists and turns? Interestingly enough, having finally managed to pour himself a cup of tea, he has nowhere to place it and opts for the space between his legs. An accident waiting to happen. It's off to the office now, and yet again, an action that takes longer than it should. By merely having door handles that extend across the width of the door at a suitable height, immediately allows for easy reach and easy grip. External corridors, particularly narrow ones, should be free of hazardous features such as outward opening windows, doors, and overhangs. Without assistance, he can't get down on his own. So how about considering developing ramps at housing complexes just as a matter of convenience? Now that we've managed to leave the house, let's make our way into town. Providing dropped curbs along pavements would give the added convenience. Thank goodness for Good Samaritans. But what are the chances of Duncan finding one every day? Uneven road surfaces and pavements make it difficult for him to move. Whereas ramps and lifts are provided in public buildings, they do not cater for all users. Lift control buttons are not set at a suitable height, and lift cars seldom have sufficient space for wheelchair users. Allow us to introduce you to another gentleman. This is Joseph Njenga, or Saitoti, as his close friends and family call him. He works at the United Disabled Persons of Kenya, UDPK, an amazing character who, due to measles, has been visually impaired since he was 4. He has risen above his circumstances and fought hard to adapt to his environment. Saitoti lives alone. Having poor eyesight means one's body automatically responds by honing in on the 4 remaining senses, namely touch, taste, hearing, and smell. Each becomes more acute. Simple design layouts would make it easier for him to orientate himself within the built environment. We therefore need the environment to be as free of obstacles as possible. Weather mats should be of firm texture and flush with the floor so as not to be a tripping hazard. Watch his hands here. They are what he uses to communicate with his surroundings. They feel out any barriers, thus acting as guides. With certain visual impairments, shadows formed by light appear as obstacles, hence his exaggerated cautious steps. When crossing streets, Saitoti must wait for someone to assist him before he can cross. In fact, the time it takes him to arrive at the office in the morning largely depends on whether or not he gets help. It cannot be stressed enough the importance of accessible routes, dropped curbs, as well as appropriate tactile warnings. Elevators, a great convenience for us, a challenge for him. Difficulty in using lift control buttons can be easily eliminated with visual tactile information within easy reach and voice indications on each floor reached.
Thank you. Okay.
Everyone benefits from an accessible environment where even minor alterations can make a significant improvement. An environment designed to be accessible to disabled people will be more accessible and user-friendly for all of us.